Good morning, Merry Christmas. It is 11:40. I'm totally behind with these. I just did a rant on Periscope about it, but now I fast forwarded and got this done. Anyway, I've got 20 minutes to get this shot, edited, up online, buffered, all that stuff. So, birdplane app. Let me just talk about a few things. So, we had like Meerkat in, I don't know when it was. It's like 2014 maybe earlier than that. Then we ended up with Periscope, and now we've got birdplane. And the reason why I want to bring this up is that I have kind of an affinity and like respect and loyalty, I guess, to the people who are behind birdplane. It's by a company called Bambuser, guys who were doing live streaming way back in like, I don't know, 2008 was the earliest that I started doing it, so way before all those other platforms arrived. And I'm really excited about the fact that Bambuser have actually got the gonads and the balls to actually bring this to the table now in 2015, going into 2016. They recognise that they are one of the people that should be in this arena. They kind of like were the very first place that I went when I had my Nokia N95, do a search for it, when I did my first sort of live video streaming on the web using a mobile phone. Way before all these other people and places started to get on the bandwagon of live video, and people who just lived in an ecosystem of Twitter and Facebook and were like, oh, this is a revolution, like this has never happened before. Yeah, it kind of did happen before, but you weren't necessarily part of it. And that's the thing I think is hugely missing on social media, is the acknowledgement of legacy and where you've come from, that old kind of digital CV of the word of mouth, the people who trust you based on your actions, your consistency of year after year after year after year, you know, being on message, being on point, moving with the time, being at the tsunami wave of new technology stuff. So like I'm digging birdplane, and the reason why I'm big in birdplane is a few reasons. First of all, they've sat back like a guy in a pub who's consistently there year on year out, that everybody knows, and they've looked at what's going on out there in the digital streaming sphere. And basically what they've realized is that they should be part of it. They've got this great new like logo and everything. And what they've done is they've taken a piece of Periscope in terms of the chat. They've taken a bit of like the UI from Vine, and they've kind of taken a bit of the tweeting ability of Twitter as well, of Blab, and sort of put them all together. Now, normally I get really frustrated with companies that are API mashers that like, I've took this and this and this and this, and now I've got this. It's like, no, you haven't. You've just copied everybody else's stuff, and you don't have a product. You're just mashing stuff together that other people have made. That's not the case with birdplane, I don't think. It's still very much in its infancy. It's got features in there that I wish it had, that I could talk about, that Bambuser had, in terms of, you know, if you ever drop frames because you had a bad signal on Bambuser, what it used to do is save a copy locally to your phone and then reinsert those frames and upload that as a final version. So if you were watching a live stream and it was dropping out and it was really laggy and looked terrible because the person was on the move and moving through different cell networks, it would restitch the video locally, upload that. So if you watched the playback later, you had this perfect stream, which was just like, whoa. Like huge, like way before anybody else. I don't even know if anybody else actually does that. So this is a power move for me from Bambuser, because maybe they're just going to go down the acquisition route, and then they maybe had to splinter off birdplane from the Bambuser stuff, because Bambuser is very entrenched in Finland or Sweden. I can't remember where they're from, but like they're awesome anyway. I think it's Finland actually. They might get really annoyed with that, because either Sweden or Finland, it's one of the two. Either, I don't know if they get on or not. But I've got big hopes with this. It's really difficult, I understand, to move away from the place that you started on. I can't see people moving from Periscope to go on birdplane. I just want people to have a go with it, play with it. They have some new features in there that other platforms don't have. They have adaptive resolution, which is if your connection gets bad, the resolution goes down and changes rather than disconnects until you have a really very poor connection. I'm not getting the most out of it because I'm on an iPad mini, so my optics are really bad, not as good as like the ones that you see on their little preview video. But I do like the fact that they've been really smart about taking some awesome parts of Periscope, using the interface of Vine, and I'm just looking forward to the iterations that they do on this now. One of the big things to watch on this is that I saw that they had a bot that sits in a channel and asks certain questions. If they went and sold that as a service for €5 a month, $5 a month, that you could customize that bot, I think for live streaming events, in terms of people indirectly asking questions to a Twitter account, which you could then say, yeah, you know, whitelist, good or bad, yes, ask that question. That could be huge, because keeping the momentum going in a live stream is one thing that is the thing that keeps people engaged, and the retention of eyeballs watching that live stream. And I just don't think live streaming is there yet. I think now we've got the Apple TV, now that we're getting sort of like 4K, we're getting high-speed connections. The moment that live streaming becomes as flawless as TV is today, with people getting home from work, pressing one button and getting this flawless live HD stream that never stutters, never breaks, perfectly curated. When live stream gets to that, that's when we have a game changer. I'll see you at 1 o'clock.
Assist, transfer, support, learn, hire.